All right, for a perspective on the tensions between the United States and Iran, let me bring in political analyst Matt Klink. Matt is based in Los Angeles. Matt, appreciate your time. I know it's getting close to midnight where you are. Appreciate your time. This war powers resolution to limit President Trump's military actions going against Iran. Reportedly, the House of Representatives approved the resolution. I understand the measure will next go to the Senate. Matt, is this Congress's way of getting a grip on the situation, do you think?
Well, the war powers resolution that Congress passed has no effect on President Trump whatsoever. It's really in the House. It's a Democratic attempt during an election year to go after Donald Trump. And while the Republicans may do something in the United States Senate, it's a conflict of powers between our executive branch and our legislative branch. And ultimately, the president is the one who has the sole discretion on foreign policy and military action. And you have to remember, America has not formally declared a war since World War II. Mm-hmm. So it's chest stumping by Congress at best.
My understanding is that declarations of war in the United States Congress, it's their job, Congress's job as a statutory authority for these types of animus. I was listening to Senator Mike Lee yesterday following a briefing he and others received on the killing of General Soleimani, and he said it was the worst briefing he'd had on military issues in 9 years in the Senate, and he's a Republican. Are we anywhere close to getting proof that the actual raw intelligence that General Soleimani posed an imminent threat?
Oh, no, what Mike Lee said, and he clarified that later today, was that he had no problem with the killing of General Soleimani, who was a very bad man with the blood of a lot of American soldiers on his hands and was a state sponsor of terror around the world. What Mike Lee's concern was about potential future American action in Iran, in which case he says that he wanted Donald Trump to go to Congress and get approval for future action. So, look, this is a real struggle between the executive branch and the legislative branch. And it is rather ironic that when Barack Obama was president, the Democrats had no problem with Barack Obama droning more than 270 individuals. And Donald Trump takes out one of the world's foremost terrorists, and the Democrats suddenly have a problem with it.
Look, I know that many Americans regard General Soleimani as a so-called bad actor. If you go to Iran, he's revered there. And look, so the opinion about General Soleimani is divided around the world. U.S. Vice President Mike Pence yesterday saying that they believe that the Iranian ballistic missiles fired at American bases in Iraq were intended to kill Americans. What evidence is there, Matt, to support the claim that the Iranians did or did not intend to kill Americans in their retaliation?
Well, if you fire missiles at an American base with American soldiers, the odds are you're going to hit American soldiers. So Iran is lucky that they did not kill any Americans or injure any Americans, because then President Trump would have been forced to respond. And as the Iranians have seen, General Soleimani was up to no good in Iraq, where he was killed. And America will strike back hard if Iran hurts or kills American citizens. And that's just the way it is. And Iran, you look at their response, what they're also saying is that Iran's response was more doing something to try to save face, but ultimately they're lucky that they didn't kill more Americans.
Look, do you believe or recognize a school of thought that believes that this, on the part of Iran, was a deliberate not to kill Americans. I mean, they had to respond. If somebody slaps you in the face, the natural response is to slap back, but it needs to be proportionate. Do you not believe that this was deliberate in terms of their strategy to de-escalate the situation?
Well, you know what? I think that what forced Iran's hand here was President Trump's strike, because General Soleimani and his proxies in Iran and in other places in the Middle East have been attacking American troops. They killed American troops earlier this month. They occupied our embassy in Iraq, and America had enough. And President Trump took the opportunity to take out a terrorist, and the world is a safer place with him gone. As to Iran's response, I'll leave that up to the Iranian people to be the judge of whether or not it was a de-escalation. All I know is that the Iranians respect strength, and they saw strength from America this week in Donald Trump's actions.
What do you reckon, Matt? Is there likely to be further strikes from Iran, not necessarily being claimed by Iran itself, but maybe proxies? Is that a possibility?
I think that that's very probable, given that the Obama administration gave the Iranian government $150+ billion. And instead of using that money to help their people, the Iranians have funded proxy armies throughout the Middle East. So I think it is highly probable, but I'm confident that our military and our intelligence apparatus is strong enough that if we get the inkling that it came from Iran-sponsored organizations, they will be dealt with accordingly.
Analyst, political analyst Matt Klink, this story can get a bit perplexing, so we need all the voices to understand the story for all angles. Matt Klink, appreciate your reporting, or your time, and as well as your perspective. Thank you very much indeed. Be well.
Thank you.
All right.